Produced program. The views expressed within are not necessarily the views of WAVS Radio, its staff, or management, but are strictly those of the hosts, guests, and callers.
Good evening, good Sunday evening to you in South Florida. Thank you for joining us tonight. Again, financial literacy with Hubert McIntosh, your CPA and a member of SOFA. Joining you tonight again, every Sunday night, 9 to 10, we join you. We just want to thank JP and the great CR for their plug. You know, they do real estate. And real estate is also one of the most integral part of financial literacy. So allow CR to educate you on that part of it. And after he educate you on that part and then you get into that home, then you would need more further financial literacy. And that is where we come in. So I just thank them again. So CCR, for all your real estate needs, they're here every Sunday night from 8 to 9. And we follow behind them every Sunday night, 9 to 10. So thank you for joining us. So remember, we're with you every Sunday night, 9 to 10, but you have 24/7 access to us. You can join us on the web. You have a website, financialliteracy.info. financialliteracy.info. You go on there. We can take you straight to the social media pages. We have Facebook. You can link to Facebook from there. And as always, we always ask you, like our page. Because when you like our page, it helps the search engine to find us. So don't keep us a secret, because just like you're getting this information, there are others out there who could do well with such information. So with that being said, I encourage you on your Facebook page, go ahead and share the link with family, friends, or other loved ones. Let them know that we're on, and it's still time that they can join us. Remember, tonight it's Sunday school. So get your pen, get your paper, because we're going to be sharing some information with you. I think tonight's information is basically for everyone, because I had promised you the week before that we're going to talk about living benefits, life insurance living benefits. But we got so much request regarding Medicare, because as you know, we are in the Medicare season. So we had a lot of requests for us to repeat and talk some more about Medicare, because there's still a lot of confusion out there. So that's why we went ahead and we repeat the Medicare information last week. But this week, we're just going to sum up the Medicare information, and then we're going to go into life insurance living benefits, because there's still confusion out there where people believing that life insurance is just about death benefits. So why should I take out something that's not going to benefit me? It's just going to be for the people who I leave behind. So we're going to dispel and we're going to clear up some of those confusion this week, okay? Medicare, let me give you some update on Medicare. Normally, we're currently in AEP. I mentioned that to you before. AEP is the annual election period. Normally, and get your pen, get your paper, note this. Normally, AEP is October 15th through December 7th. October 15th through December 7th. Normally. Remember the word normally. But That's not so this year. For Florida, Texas, and other areas that were affected by the hurricane, Irma, Maria, and the guy, I forgot what the name of the guy. I don't remember if it was Hector or whatever, but it was 3 hurricanes we had. So for those hurricanes, if you're affected, if someone was affected by Maria, Irma, or Hector, Florida was affected by Irma. So for Florida, all of Florida, the AEP has been extended from December 7th to December 31st. Florida and Texas mainly, and other areas. I know some parts of Georgia was affected, but the law states there the counties that were affected. But I know I can say widely all 67 counties in Florida was affected. So Florida, I can blankly say that Florida AEP has been extended through to December 31st. In Georgia, Alabama, and so forth, you can check. You can check because it says it's counties that were affected, not states. And that's very critical for you to realize, because you can have certain counties that were affected and you're thinking, well, it was a blanket for the state. No, not necessarily so. Because, take for instance, even Georgia, there were counties in Georgia that were affected by the hurricanes, while other counties were not affected. Okay? But for Florida, you can rest assured that all 67 counties in Florida was affected. I think it's probably one of the first time we have ever had a hurricane, and I would have to verify that, but I do believe that it was one of the first time that we have had a hurricane that affected the entire state of Florida. Normally you would have it where it would affect one area, where it would affect the east side, the west side, or whatever. But this Irma was so big, it was so big that it blanketed, it covered the entire state, okay? So I just want to give you your update on that and just remind you, what does AEP means? AEP means it's the one time per year that an individual or individuals can change. Yeah, they can change their Medicare. They can change, and they can change anytime during that period. It's the only time of the year you can change anytime during that period. In other words, what do I mean when I say they can change anytime during that period? Say, for instance, today being November 19th. If someone signed up today for November 19th, and by November 30th, they realized that there's a better plan because they got some more information, that person could change it on November 30th. And after changing it on November 30th, and this is part of the confusing part also, after changing it on November 30th, if on December 30th they got some more information that there is a better plan, that person could change it again. So AEP is the only time in the year where someone can change as often as they want prior to the expiration date, which is December 31st this year for Florida. I also mentioned to you SEP, which is special election period. Special election period is that the person can change once, but you can't change multiple times. AEP, which we are currently in, is the only time a Medicare recipient can change as often as possible. So utilize that. If your plan is not working for you, consult a Medicare specialist. And I want to thank each and every one of you that has reached out to us to guide you through this process. Quite a few people from the program has reached out to us to guide them through the process. So I want to thank every one of you for that. And I encourage you for that, because remember, speaking with a Medicare specialist, it's not a cost to you. It's not a cost to you. So don't be leery of thinking, well, oh my gosh, you're going to call that Medicare specialist and there will be a cost. There is no cost to you. That is very important to remember. There's no cost to you. And you may ask yourself, but how is that person paid? Well, if that person give you the consultation and the guidance, and you sign or you change your plan with that person, then what happened? The government pays that person. So don't let, also, you got to be careful out there. Don't let anyone telling you that there is a fee, there's a consultation fee for you to get guidance in Medicare. There is no consultation fee. So be aware of people out there who may be telling you that there's a consultation fee. It should not be, okay? All right, so thank you again. We're in the studio, 954-792-1170, 954-792-1170. And as always, we welcome your call. We welcome your feedback. We welcome your questions. We're here for you. Just remember that we're here for you. This program is here to serve you. So it's about what you want, so you can reach us. Also, if you choose not to reach us in the studio, because we're in the studio 9 to 10, you can also call us directly, 754-366-7311. 754-366-7311. And quite a few of you have been using that number, so we thank you, because you give us an opportunity to serve you, and that is what it's all about. You can visit us on the web, financialliteracy.info, financialliteracy.info. You can go to Facebook from there, so we have a link directly to Facebook. From there, we have a Twitter page where if you tweet us, we will respond to you. On the website, you have a comment page. If you send questions to us, feedback, we will respond. We also have an email address, support@financialliteracy.info. support@financialliteracy.info. So you have 24/7 access to us, really, So we're in the studio, 954-792-1170. So we're going to move into the topic for tonight. So we're talking about life insurance. Customary life insurance was about death benefit. But remember the analogy that I always shared with you. We go back to the cell phone. I know I share it with you so often, it seems like a broken record. But it's a way of reminding you how things have changed. There's so many things have evolved in the last 30 years. Medical science, oh my gosh. Medical science has grown leaps and bounds in the last 30 years. There are things that usually could be fatal or serious. Nowadays, you take one tablet, sometimes one tablet, and that thing is fixed. One tablet, sometimes one little procedure, one antibiotic. That is medical. One shot. Yeah, one shot. You have diseases or you have ailments, whereas it could be life-threatening. Nowadays, one medication shot, and that thing is gone. That is how medical science has improved. You used to have procedures or surgery, whatever you want to call it. Procedures, some people call it procedure, some people call it surgery. Basically, it's just terminology. Yeah, you have surgery, you have procedures. But what has happened, there were procedures that the doctor would have to cut you open where it was very invasive. But what has happened because of the improvement in medical science, sometimes you're just getting a little incision, sometimes just a little incision, and sometimes not even an incision, but just something going down in your throat where doctors can now put a camera. Oh my gosh, they can put a camera down through your throat, and the thing can be treated with laser. Yes. Laser treatment, no cut. So you hear someone says, oh my gosh, I had a surgery or I had a procedure. Normally, older days, you would find that this person has this big wound because they were cut and they were stitched. Nowadays, some of those same procedures are being done non-invasive in the sense that this person has no cut. Doctors are performing surgeries. Robots. Oh my gosh, this is even scary. Robots are performing surgery. Obviously, yes, the guidance of the doctor, of course. We're not just going to send a robot to go do it. But the doctor, it is so precise now that doctors are doing this where once upon a time, they had to do a biopsy, or, there are certain things you had to do a biopsy because the doctor couldn't see it, because to go in, then you had to do a biopsy. Nowadays, they have camera. Can you believe this? So it's not the case again where you're just doing an X-ray or you're doing a CT scan or PET scan or anything like that. The doctors know they have cameras. So they are performing this procedure and the camera is inside of you and the I'm telling you that. So when I share the statistic with you that by 2050 there will be 4 million centenarians. Yes, that's 4 million people who are 100 years old are older. Yes. That is what, so the medical science that I'm talking to you about is one of the things that has helped where people are living longer and people will be living longer. So with that being said now, there are positive things and sometimes you have to look at the effect. Because with that being said, 4 million people, think about this for a minute. 4 million people going to be centenarians. 4 million. You know the sad part of that statistic? 99% of that 4 million would have run out of money. 99% would have run out of that money. And that just segue into the topic tonight, where we're going to talk to you about living benefits. Okay? So we want you to be aware. We want you to be aware of that. So death benefit. Life insurance, death benefit. So it used to be when you die, life insurance could help pay off your debts and your taxes. Yeah, well, that's one of the things. It helps pay off your debts and your taxes. It allows your family to maintain their standard of living. You notice who it allows? Your family to maintain their standard of living. So it wasn't that it was bad, because it's still allowing your family to maintain their standard of living if you had enough life insurance. It can help support your dependents' goals and dreams. Say, mom or dad, where you have young kids or dependents. It doesn't necessarily have to be young kids, but you have dependents with goals and dreams. One of the benefit of life insurance was that was that even though that person is grieving the loss of the loved one, whether it's mom or dad, who is the breadwinner, that person, if there's enough life insurance, it doesn't mean that the dreams and the goals of the kid have to be shattered. So that does happen. It provides also immediate access to cash. And as I shared with you my own personal story, when I was 14 years old, my dad died. My dad died when I was 14 years old. So some of the goals and some of the dreams that I personally had was not materialized at that time because dad was the breadwinner. And anytime you lose a breadwinner, you know that there are going to be some changes. Some things going to change up. And that's just a part of life. Some things going to change up, especially if there's not, you notice I mentioned immediate access to cash, especially if there's not access to cash. If there's not access to cash when the breadwinner dies, or not even just the breadwinner, but we're focusing here on the breadwinner. When that breadwinner dies, there are going to be some changes. There are going to be some changes, and including in that change, a lot of times is the goals, certain goals or certain dreams will have to be deferred. Some people are fortunate, as for myself, I can be thankful in that some of those dreams that were deferred, basically later in life, I managed to pick them back up, but some people are not as fortunate in that sense, that where a dream might have been deferred, but they didn't get to pick it up back. So sometimes that's what happens there. But that's death benefit, because if you have that life insurance on yourself, and back then it was death benefit, we're talking about 30 years. We're using 30 years as our model. So we use a cell phone. Yeah, I was going to go to the cell phone. Because 30 years ago, the first cellular phone was the Motorola brick phone. I've said that to you guys before. It was the Motorola brick phone. The average cost of that Motorola brick phone 30 years ago was about $3,500. And you didn't just buy the phone. The phone was just a phone. You now had to pay for the minutes separately. And the minutes usually be in tier. Yeah, it wasn't no, you didn't have no you had no such thing that unlimited minutes. That didn't exist. Come on, that did not exist. So you have tiers where some tier was a portion may have been 69 cents per minute, then another portion was 79 cents, was 89 cents, 99 cents. And here how interestingly it was back then. The tier was, sometimes you use the tier of things, and the more you use is the less it go down. Well, back then it was the opposite. Because the more you use back then, because of the limitation of it, you're paying extra. What do I mean? So you may have 100 minutes, right? You may have 100 minutes and it was 69 cents per minute. And you go over that 100 minutes, the next 100 minutes was going to be at 79 cents. While now it works the other way, depending on the plan you have, where because you're using more, then the cost is less. And this is how things have evolved. And it's the same way with that, where medical science, cell phone, different thing. Even another one. Here's another thing that has changed. Do you remember back then? You remember a name? I don't even know if I've heard this name lately. I don't know if you have. When last have you heard the name Kodak? Think about it for a minute. Do you remember 30 years ago, one of the most common statement we would make? Like, for instance, if a camera was not there, you would say, well, that was a Kodak moment. When last you used the word Kodak? I don't even know. Let me know. Is Kodak still in business? I don't know. I don't even know if Kodak is still in business. But back then it was a Kodak. So you would have a camera, you would take a picture. You'd have to take this roll of film. And you would take it to the place, whether it's at the drugstore or wherever, and you would take it to the film developer. And sometimes they'll tell you that to come back in 2 weeks, because it's going to take 2 weeks for them to develop. You guys remember that? So what happened then? And guys, this is just 30 years I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about 300 years. So what happened? You would take this roll of film, right? And you would go to the film developer. Nowadays, you have like Walgreens, you have CVS and so forth. I don't even remember if it was the drugstore that, back then we even had a drugstore called Eckerd. Do you guys remember Eckerd? Oh my gosh. Do you see how things has changed? 30 years ago, when people even say they're going to go to the drugstore, they didn't even say they're going to go to the drugstore. They said they're going to go to Eckerd. Where is Eckerd? I don't know if I've heard the name recently. Eckerd. Now you have Walgreens, you have the CVS, and sometimes people get complacent and think that, okay, Walgreens is on top now, CVS is on top now, so that means they're always going to be. Life doesn't work like that. Nothing stays forever. Things change. So it's the same way. So if you're not keeping up with what has changed, you will get left behind. And it's the same with life insurance. Life insurance now has something called living benefits. Living benefits? What does that mean? It means this life insurance can also support you during your lifetime. It doesn't mean that you have to die. It can support you during your lifetime. You have life insurance now, and I know this is going to blow a lot of your mind. Life insurance can supplement your retirement. Yeah, your retirement. So here it is now. You have a vehicle like life insurance, which usually be that you have to die. And now you have people using life insurance as their retirement. Yes. So someone would say, well, why would someone use life insurance as their retirement? There are many reasons. But one of the most important reasons why someone use life insurance as retirement? Because the income in those retirement years, the income from the life insurance, if it's structured properly, that income is tax-free. While if you have a regular in retirement like a 401k, IRA, 403b, 457, don't let anybody fool you. Every one of those vehicles are taxable. Every one of them. Yes, you can write it down. 401k, IRA, which is 408. Remember, every one of these things are of the Internal Revenue Code. Anytime you hear about tax or non-tax, tax, non-tax, it's always you follow the Internal Revenue Code. So you have 401k, you have 408A, 408B, that's a Roth, that's Roth. Then you have 457, you have 403B. But life insurance now, so I'm going to introduce you to a new number tonight, is 7702. Yes, 7702. Wow, the clock on the wall. I tell you, the fastest hour of the week is Sunday nights between 9 and 10. So I want to thank you for sticking and staying with us. We are going to break. We're going to go pay some bills. Don't go away. We're going to come right back. Remember, you have the phone number. We're in the studio, 954-792-1170. 954-792-1170. So stick and stay. We will be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. We're in the studio. 954-792-1170. 954-792-1170. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA and a member of SOFA. SOFA, the Society for Financial Awareness, with one mission, one goal to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America, one community and at a time. And I've joined with SOFA to bring it to this community. So we are in Sunday school. Sunday school. If you didn't get your pen, if you didn't get your paper, please get it now. And if you're just joining us, we are talking about life insurance, but we are talking about the living benefits. I think everyone is familiar with the death benefits of life insurance in the sense that you die, your beneficiary gets the money. Most people, that's all they think life insurance does. You die, your beneficiary gets the money based on the size of the policy that you have. But we're talking about living benefits for you. This is for you. This is not for you when you die. This is for you while you are alive, okay? We just spoke about supplement your retirement. Life insurance can be used for your retirement. People are using life insurance for their retirement. And the number one reason for that is because life insurance payments to you are tax-free. Okay? So we are in the studio, 954-792-1170. We understand that we have a caller on the line, so we're going to go to that caller. Caller, you're on the line.
Hello?
Hello. Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just called to ask a question.
Yes.
If I have life insurance, like, for instance, like 10 years ago, would that be effective for what you're talking about now?
That is a great question. That's a great question. And let me tell you how great that question is. It depends. It depends on the company you have it with. Because you have companies have term insurance which are convertible. So I'm not sure which type you have, where it's convertible or you have a cash value insurance.
I have a cash value because it's not term life.
I'm not hearing you.
It's not term life.
Okay, that's good. So it's cash value, right?
Yes.
Well, if you have a cash value policy, basically, that's one of those policies where it has a retirement value where someone can use it for retirement. So what you can do is find out if they did not previously calculate an income for you, in the sense that you can say to your agent that you would like to know, if I want to take income for retirement, how much, and you want to start at a particular age. They can do a calculation for you to tell you how much income you would get. You were saying something?
I'm 65 now, so maybe now is the right time to call them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So you have it 10 years. You have it 10 years now, right?
I think maybe less than that, but I know I have it over 5 years.
Okay. Yes, your agent should be able to tell you that basically, if I want to take income, the agent should be able to give you some options. If you're 65 now, where he could say, okay, at 66, if you were to take income, it would be this amount. If you were to take it at 70, it would be this amount. So your agent should be able to tell you that, okay?
And afterlife, And after, I mean, in afterlife, would I be my family would be able to get anything more from it if I'm taking now?
Absolutely. As I said, it all depends on the plan. It depends on how much is the death benefit. It's depending on the value. How much is it that you're putting in per month compare to what the death benefit. So it's not like it's a one answer. You know, it's customized to your situation. So reach out to your agent. Reach out to your agent. And in a lot of cases, I know sometimes people cannot find their agent. You know, we're here to help you, guide you through that process. But I would encourage you to start with the agent that that wrote you that policy.
Okay, I will.
Okay?
Okay, and thanks very much.
Thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Great. So we want to thank that caller, because anytime we get a call, we always appreciate it. We always appreciate it because our goal is to serve you. So fortunately for her now, you see now she has a cash value policy. So the policies that we're talking about, and she picked up on that, when you're talking about retirement, it has to be a cash value policy, or otherwise known as a permanent policy. A term policy, and let me clarify this because a lot of you have spoken to me. A term policy is not for retirement. I want to clear that up. Don't be confused. If you have a term policy, it simply means the term is for protection for a term. So let me clear that up. Let me elaborate that. So what's the term? The term can be 10 years. The term can be 20 years. The term can be 30 years. I think the longest term you have now is 35 years. So the term can be any number of years that you had designed it or your agent had designed it. But one of the confusion out there is that, oh, what happens? No, if you have a 20-year term, when the 20-year finishes, that policy finishes. Unless, there are two unless. Unless that policy add a convertible feature and you convert it from a term policy to a permanent policy prior to the expiration of the term. But don't go thinking that you can convert it after the term expires. Think about it. If it expires, you can convert it. You have to convert it before it expires. And also, the policy that you have, it has to have that feature. Remember, things are driven by feature. We go back to the phone again. One person have a cell phone. Another person has a cell phone. Each of those phones has different features. It's the same way like the policies. Policies have different feature. So don't go there are 855 life insurance companies in America. 855. Don't go thinking that all insurance companies are the same. All life policies are the same. No, it's not. It's just like with cell phone. It's just like a car. You know, you have Honda, you have Toyota, you have Mercedes, you have Lexus. All of these cars have different features. Yet there may be some general features, like for most cars nowadays are coming out with something where you have a reverse that mirror. Where that camera that you're looking, you can look and the camera is showing, where that is now becoming a standard feature in a lot of cars. 10 years ago, that wasn't a standard feature. That was an exclusive feature or a premium feature. So it's the same kind of thing. So look at it, speak with your agent, find out what you have. And you may be possible to get an upgrade. Yes, you may be able to get an upgrade. But if you, let me tell you now, if you have a policy, whether it's term or permanent, you should have some living benefits. You're not going to have all the living benefits now. You should have some. But if you have a policy, whether term or permanent, and you said, oh, there are no living benefits, let me tell you right now. You need an upgrade. You need an upgrade. Because every policy, whether term or permanent, should have living benefits. You may not have all the living benefits, but you should have some. So if that agent tells you, oh, the policy you took out don't have any living benefits because of blah, 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 blah. You see, what happened is that you may have taken out a policy with a company that doesn't provide living benefits. And you may say, but Hubert, why? Listen, it's the same kind of thing. You have companies have different features. There are different features in different vehicles, and life insurance is just the same like that. So the term policy will not have a retirement feature. I'm telling you that right now. To have a retirement feature, it has to be a cash value policy. But the term policy can have different living benefits, and we'll talk about some of them. All right. Another living benefit is, yes, this is going to blow a lot of your mind. Did you know that you can have a life insurance policy that can help with college education for your kids? Or even for yourself? Yes. You have people are structuring college education for their kids through life insurance. Yes, and you may say, but I never heard that. Oh, I've heard about 529. I've heard about Florida prepaid. Here it is, you're telling me about life insurance for college. Why? Why would someone take out life insurance cash value for college? Here's the reason. A 529 plan is strictly for college. It's just strictly for college. So here you have the 529 plan. You take out the money. The child starts going to college. You're taking out the money to fund college. Anytime you use any of that money for anything else, that becomes taxable. And once you take that money out, then it's just gone. You have just spent it on college. The life insurance policy has perpetuity to it. Yeah, perpetuity. Let me explain that. And I use that word. It's continuous. It's continuous. A college plan outside of a life insurance plan is not continuous. It's through the period of the college. So take a Florida prepaid. Since we're talking about Florida here, a Florida prepaid plan is for the term that the child is going to college. So say you have a prepaid plan for 4 years of college in Florida. After that 4-year finishes, that plan finishes, because the plan may say, well, it's going to pay for 4 years of college. That's all it does. It just pays for 4 years of college. But look at this situation now. If you have the same money that you put in a college prepaid plan and you have that into an insurance plan, which you had planned to use for college, you can still use that money, a portion of that money for college, and that plan is still continuing, where for that same child, your child, could use it for college, and when college finishes, then that same plan is now being used for retirement. Yes, because it continues. And even to retirement before retirement, that same plan can use to help your child or yourself to start a business. Yes. It can use to buy a home. You see, a lot of times you're using money and you're going and you're borrowing, you're going to the bank to borrow the money to get a home because you need 5%, 10% down. But can you imagine? Suppose you have that money in your plan. So remember, it's not, remember I said to you, this program, it's about helping you develop a personal economic model, because for each person, their model is different. Your model can be just like your neighbor, because here's the thing of it. If your neighbor's plan has 200,000 in it, just using a number, and yours have 100,000 in it, and you may say, Hubert, what kind of money you're talking about? Let me tell you, college right now is from $25,000 to $85,000. Yes, $25,000 to $85,000 per year. So sometimes for a 4-year college, you need $300,000, $400,000. So when I say if you have a plan with 200,000, I'm not being ridiculous. You go and you check. You check the cost of college. You check the cost of college. 25,000, 40,000, 80,000. And you're like, you're crazy. You have colleges for 80,000. Yes. You have colleges for 80, 85. You also have colleges for 10. You also have colleges for 20. But it's just like, it's your choice. Okay, so you can buy a car for $10,000. And you can buy a car for $80,000. Do you think the $10,000 car is going to have what the $80,000 car has? That's the same thing it boils down to. You're going to have the college where you can go for college for $10,000, and you have the college that you're going to go for $80,000. Come on, it's not equal. Yes, you're getting education, and you may say, well, why would someone go to an $80,000 college versus a $10,000 college if they're still getting education? Yes, you're getting education. You're getting education at both. But sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes college is not just the education you're getting for that 4 years. Do you see, have you heard of people leaving college and they don't have a job? Have you heard that? Do you think that's possible? People leaving college, they did 4 years, they did 5 years. They come out of college, they don't have a job. While you have another person leaving college, right? And they have 5 jobs to choose from. Do you see what I'm talking about? Sometimes that person has 5 jobs and you're going to say, well, oh, that person is just luckier than the other person. Listen, I've spoken to you before. Luck is not a plan. If your plan is going to be designed by luck, that's not a plan. If you're going to go by luck, there are places for luck. You have Vegas, that's one of them. You have Atlantic City. You have the Florida Lottery. Those things are luck. But don't go say you're going to make a plan and you hope your child gets lucky. That's not luck. There are plans. You can make a plan. You can plan for success. So don't get caught up in this and say, well, if my child get lucky, you can help your child to get lucky. Because guess what? You know what the definition of luck is? Luck, if you never heard it before, I'm going to give it to you. Luck is that intersection where preparation meets opportunity. You never heard that before? Preparation meets opportunity. So sometimes we're going around and we say, well, that person got lucky. No, maybe sometimes they had that formula. Preparation meets opportunity. Because here's how that intersection works. If you did not prepare and you got to that intersection and there is opportunity, but you didn't prepare, then you're out of luck. Do you see what I mean? What I'm talking about? So, living benefits. So we mentioned college education, starting a business, buying a second home. So withdrawal may be subject to fees. Yes, the withdrawal of some of these plans may be subject to fees, penalties, and income. Some of them. It all based on how it's structured. Please review your policy and your personal situation. So that's what I'm saying to you. Look at your situation. You speak to your agent. And if that agent cannot guide you through the process, maybe you need a different agent. Because your life insurance agent shouldn't be someone that just takes an application. Your life insurance agent should be someone where as a guide you in your finances. So if you have an agent where that can just write a policy and then you're walking around and you're telling people that you have a financial advisor, you don't have a financial advisor. You have a life insurance agent. Not all life insurance agents are financial advisor. You get what I'm saying? We're talking about your finances. If we're talking about financial literacy, don't you think it's imperative that you have a financial advisor? Yes. So, moving along. So, how much? So life insurance, as I said to you, with living benefits. Here are some other things with living benefits. Living benefits, like you may have another living benefits you have. Say, for instance, you have a certain death benefit, whether it's 100,000. You have living benefits where if that person gets a chronic illness, critical illness, critical injury, terminal illness, they can accelerate. Yes, accelerate. So here's an example. So you have $100,000 policy, right? You have $100,000 policy, and you get some kind of sickness, whether it's chronic, critical illness, critical injury. The list is long in the sense that don't think that, well, because I use the term, it says critical, that means you have to be in a car accident. No, that's not what critical means, Yes, that's a part of critical, but don't just think that, well, that's just critical by itself. So what happens? So let's use that model where the person has $100,000 policy and they have a chronic illness or a critical illness. And in a lot of cases, they can accelerate up to 85% of that death benefit. Yeah, up to 85%. So you look at it, you see one of the sad things, and you have heard me spoken about this before, whereas someone dies and, people are walking around with hats or bucket to collect money to help bury the person. Let me tell you, the cost of life insurance nowadays, life insurance is so inexpensive. I want to tell you, it's not necessary. It is not necessary for you to let that happen to your loved one. Okay? So that's death benefit. But the living benefits, as I said, so, we are here. We are here for you to guide you through this process. But take a look at your policy. Take a look at your policy. Discuss your policy with your agent. Ask your agent, what are my living benefits? What are my living benefits? If that agent says to you, you have no living benefits, you need an upgrade. you need an upgrade, okay? And let us help you through that process. If your agent cannot help you, let us help you through that process. So we are here for you. You need an upgrade. So you should, well, now we are coming to the end of the year. You should have already scheduled where you have an annual review. Just like you go to the doctor to have an annual physical, your life insurance should also have an annual review, okay? So if you have not had an annual review, contact your agent to get an annual review. And if you cannot find the agent, you contact us and we will help and we'll review that policy for you and let you know what you have, okay? So we just want to thank you again. Thank you for joining us. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA, a member of SOFA, the Society for Financial Awareness. One goal: to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America, one community at a time. And I've joined this community. So I'm with you every Sunday night, 9 to 10 on WAVS 1170. But you join us on the web also, financialliteracy.info. Go to Facebook, take us from there. And all the shows are there. We have a YouTube page. All the shows are there recorded, the previous shows. So thank you. Have a good evening, and we will see you next week.